Well, new questions being raised this morning about the relationship between Egypt's fledgling government and Israel after a deadly terrorist attack. This happened at a border crossing in Sinai. Authorities say Islamist gunmen killed at least 15 Egyptian guards before storming the checkpoint. That attack was stopped, but the incident is a test for Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi, who he himself is an Islamist. KT McFarland is a Fox News national security analyst, and she joins us now with some more insight. Great to see you, KT.
Thank you.
So what does this attack mean for the region? Let's begin there.
Well, it's hugely significant, and it's really bad news. Now, why is that? For 40 years, the peace between Israel and Egypt has been kept because the Sinai Peninsula, where these attacks were launched from, has been a demilitarized zone. It's been safe. It's been secure. No military operations have come from it. Now, in the last year, since the Egyptian government changed hands, remember, Egypt has always been a firm U.S. and Israeli ally for the last 40 years. But since the Egyptian government has changed hands, that area, that Sinai Peninsula, has become the home of jihadists. Their bad guys have come from all over the world, and they're setting up shop in Sinai. The same way jihadists and al-Qaeda set up shop in Afghanistan when it was a failed state, or northwest Pakistan, or in Yemen. They're trying to do the same now in the Sinai Peninsula. And the question is, will the Egyptian government be willing or able to prevent that from happening? Because if it doesn't prevent it from happening, then all of a sudden, for the first time in 40 years, you've got a border with Israel, Israel's border on the south with Egypt, and as we've just seen, Israel's border on the north with a destabilized Syria could be a problem for Israel north and south, and the peace that's sustained for 40 years could come to a stop.
In the meantime, KT, there's a lot of finger-pointing going on this morning. Egypt blamed Islamist militants, and President Mohamed Morsi, he says the attackers, this is a quote, will pay dearly. The Israeli military, they say the attack was all part of some sort of plot to abduct an Israeli soldier, and Israel's defense minister Ehud Barak saying, then this is another quote, that they thwarted an attack that could have injured many more. Who do you think is to blame?
I don't think you know, and that's the whole point of these jihadist attacks. There's no return address on where these guys are coming from. One possibility is that they came over the border from Gaza into Egypt and then set up shop in Sinai. Another is that they've come from other parts of the Middle East into Sinai. You don't know. Therefore, it becomes very difficult to know who do you respond to, who do you retaliate, who do you attack. The thing, though, that is really key is Egypt has to keep the Sinai Peninsula free from jihadists. Why? Because not only does it threaten Israel, but it threatens the Suez Canal, which is at the southern end of the Sinai Peninsula. The Sinai Peninsula has been the launching point for war for centuries. If it's going to be the launching point again for another Arab-Israeli war, a regional Arab-Israeli war, that's really dangerous for the whole region and for the United States.
And how do you think Morsi is going to respond?
Well, he's got to figure out, you know, is he able to keep that? It's a very large area. It's a very desolate area. Is he able and is he willing to tell the Egyptian military, to work with the Egyptian military to make sure that that's an area that doesn't become a failed state, a no man's land where bad guys set up shop.
And specifically for the United States, our primary area of concern here, the Suez Canal, a lot of implications for us.
As a whole, you know, that part of the world, every 40 years, every 30 years has had a war. It's been devastating for the region. It's been destabilizing. If we now go from a period where, in the early 1970s, when my boss Henry Kissinger negotiated all of those ceasefire agreements with Israel and Syria, Israel and Egypt, if all those now are going to be shoved aside by the Arab Spring, by the destabilized countries of Egypt and Syria, as we've just seen, then it's really trouble. It spells a much more likely Arab-Israeli regional war.
We'll see what happens. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you joining us, KT McFarland, as always.